actually do think it's the same type of event that it's always been. And of course, it's no secret, schools want to bring in prospects when they're having energy and things like that. And we're one of the several schools out there that does something like this. So I hope it is. We're not putting all our eggs in that basket, maybe as much as we used to, though.
Yeah.
It used to be we would bring in a lot of guys, and that's not necessarily the case as much right now. But I certainly hope it's fun for all. I guess that's the best way I could say it.
Why not? Why have you changed from previously? Not putting all your eggs in one basket in that way.
For late night?
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to have that many kids in and give them all the proper attention they deserve. We found it better to spread it out, so that way families and individuals can get individual attention, as opposed to just kind of dealing with everybody as a group. And we think families actually enjoy that more as well.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask you about the point guard spot. What can we expect from Remy Martin and Joe Yesufu, and what kind of role do you see DeJuan Harris taking on this season?
Well, I think you just hit it, and throw Bobby Pettiford in there too. So those would be the four guys. Kyle probably not as coming early. He's probably a little bit of time away from cracking that foursome, but those would be the four guys that are not fighting for one spot, that are fighting for probably 1 3/4 spots. We can certainly play big like we did last year, and play, let's say, CB and Ochai or Jalen or Jalen Coleman Lands. We can certainly play those guys at the 2, 3, 4, so to speak. But there's going to be more times this year where we play two of those four together that you just mentioned. So it's gonna be right now. I would say that DeJuan, because him being around, is probably if we were going to play tomorrow, I would say he'd get the majority of the minutes just because he's been around. But that's also with the understanding that Remy hadn't been here. Remy was here, and then he wasn't even healthy 2 of the weeks he was here, and then he wasn't here in the summer for the most part, only here for 2 practices in the summer. So he's not at the same stage. So he's comfort level away from doing that. Those will be, one of those two will start at point. But I can see them both playing a lot together. Joseph is really more of a combo than he is a point. But that's when we usually had our best teams, playing with a couple of combos. So, he's in the mix as well. But when he's in the game, I anticipate Juan or Remy or possibly Bobby being in the game with him, if that makes sense.
And then what has just impressed you most about Bobby Pettiford's game so far?
He's been hurt, so I haven't seen him. He was hurt the whole summer. He wasn't 100%. He's just now getting to the point where he's close, but he's very explosive. He can change directions. He can play off a ball screen. He's a pretty good shooter. He needs to get more consistent, but I just think he's experience away from really has a chance to maybe be the next really good one we had. But he's experience away from being that right
now. How ready are these guys? You got so many new faces. I mean, you just mentioned a minute ago it's going to get turned up a little bit when practice really goes. How ready are they?
I actually think that we're ready to practice, but we're not near ready to play. I think that we had a really good boot camp, probably great boot camp. Our health is pretty good, even though we are dealing with some things that everybody deals with. I think we have a lot of nice pieces, but the person that's probably not as ready as anybody is me, because I don't have an idea yet on how it all fits. So they may be more ready to practice than I am to actually understand what we have in practice. Sure. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how all the pieces fit once we get comfortable together. But yeah. I'm telling you, most years, like in 07 and 08, when those kids were all freshmen and you knew you had them back and they were sophomores and juniors, I mean, we were into how we're going to attack a matchup zone the first week of practice.
Sure.
This year, we may be into that the week of the first game, because there's just so many other things that we got to get to to get everybody comfortable and to know what everybody would do well in those how they would play well in those situations. That it's pretty much an unknown for me because we have so many new guys.
Yeah, I was going to follow up with basically that thing. Cam Martin said maybe a week and a half ago that the coaches were bringing really good energy, and how much of that has fallen on your staff to try to morph all these guys into being ready? And have you had to change much, you or your coaches, what you've done for these guys, or is you expect them to catch up and find their way?
I don't know that we've changed a lot. I think we're going to go slower than we have in the past, which will be very boring for our older guys. But I think we have to do that. I think I got to learn how to practice with 18 guys out there too. Not everybody will be getting many reps all the time, especially maybe some walk-ons. But even with 14 scholarship players, that's going to be a little bit different on how to practice. Instead of having 2 teams, you can almost field 3 if you wanted to do it that way. But I think this is going to be a learning experience for me also early on to kind of see how hard you can push these guys and how much you can throw at them, and how fast you can. So, but I think the coach, all players tell you guys stuff that you want to hear. They're professionals at that. And I hope Cam means it when he says the coaches have brought more energy, because I do think our coaches are very excited about this team.
Do you see minutes for the freshman bigs?
Well, there's 2. That'd be KJ and Zach, and they're 2 of they've probably been our 2 most impressive freshmen so far, in large part because of health. But they're both good players. But whether or not they're going to be able to help us beat Michigan State in game 1, or help us beat St. John's in game 6, or win a tournament in Orlando in games 4 and 5 and 6, or whatever it is, that remains to be seen. But they're going to be really good players.
We got time for a couple more, please.
Coach, with guys like Zach and KJ, how do you help them remain patient and not want it right away? I mean, is there
I haven't talked to them about that. So
Okay.
That'll be something that we probably will talk about, but I want to give them the chance to beat guys out.